Do you know what that sound is, humming along in the background? That is the sound of the cicada. A cicada is an insect that, once born on the limb of a tree, will fall to the ground and start digging. Its goal is to find roots to feed on for nourishment. It will start feeding from grass roots until it is able to dig further and feed off the roots of the tree from which it was born. They are active in their underground life, feeding and making tunnels. After a set period of time, they emerge as nymphs to climb a tree and shed their exoskeleton on their way to becoming an adult. There are annual cicadas, which emerge every year, and periodical cicadas, one of which emerges every 17 years. Think of the human race as cicadas. After the initial nourishment, we go underground to grow. There's a whole lot of stuff happening unseen in the underground, all the growth and development. For some cicadas, they are ready after only a year and are able to emerge and live. I believe that's a majority of the population. They don't need as much preparation for what they are called to do in life. For others, it takes 17 long years for them to get out of the ground and live. For the incredibly astute out there, you may already see where I'm going with this. My dear INFJ, we are those 17-year cicadas. I used to think I was late to the party because of the very rough start I had in life. In some cases, yes, I think I was later than others. We all have things to sort through, but when you've been bathed in a whole lot of what's not normal, you need extra time to examine that which you were wrongfully taught, evaluate it, decide what to discard, what to keep, and then build from there. But I believe INFJs in general are individuals late to the party, no matter what kind of start you had in life. And in my opinion, after living on this planet for several decades, I believe the late start is necessary, as well as a very wondrous thing. Like the cicada, we need to spend much time underground before we emerge in life. But so much time in the underground can seem meaningless, and it's hard to be content in that once the stirrings start. I believe we have a desire to do something which reflects our own personalities. We're different, therefore we desire to do something different. Someone who has the same mindset as me said something to me one time which resonated with all the power as a loud clap of thunder. Build your own lane. I believe we desire to build our own lane, make our own way in life, forge new trails. Something in us is lacking until we do. Because we are role players, as we seek to find ourselves, we must try a lot on early in life. Jobs, people, environments, etc. This is necessary to build up our data bank. This is our time underground. But during this time, we develop the skills necessary for the meaningful work we are meant to do in our future. In some cases, I believe we know our calling early on in life. That intuition is strong even at a young age, you know. It's just that we don't know what that calling is going to look like. For me, I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be a teacher. Did I know I would be good at it? No, but the desire was there, or some kind of knowledge, even at that young age, that it was what I was meant to do. But when I did become a teacher officially, I was stifled, and I knew immediately it wasn't right for me. The teaching was right, but not the particular situation I found myself in. But I stuck with it long enough to get what I needed out of the situation, and that was the skills. How to teach, how to become a good teacher. And I saw I was very gifted at breaking things down to an elementary level, and I honed that skill. And while I was in college paying my dues to earn that official degree, I waitressed for 4 years. I hated it, but I had to stick it out. I needed the money. It felt meaningless at the time other than a job for paying the bills, but there was a lot I didn't know back then. I had to try a lot of things on. I actually did community theater to act in the truest sense of the word. One of my favorite roles was as a petulant vaudeville actress. I got to stamp around the stage, yelling at my manager, acting like a spoiled child while dressed in flashy costumes. So I got to wear dramatic and extravagant, a role I enjoyed putting on for a time. I was the Mother Abbess in The Sound of Music, so I got to wear piousness and severity. And I was part of a brothel and did a striptease, so I got to wear naughty and rebellious. So many roles, lessons learned about myself in each, filed away in the underground, waiting for the day of emergence. Even now, I am engaged in a business I started which does not fit me. I didn't know it when I started it because I started it years ago. However, intuition led to a new business idea which does fit me and my passions. You could consider that other business time wasted, but because I engaged in the other business, I learned a lot about entrepreneurship and how to build your own business in general. And I learned I could just go out there and start a business, something I would have been intimidated to do years ago. Even now, I'm amazed at my courage to just do it, but my intuition is whispering, and it won't be silenced. It's my friend now and should be your friend as well. Trust it. It's been feeding for years and is ready to show you the way. But remember this, you can't wait until things are perfect before beginning. At some point, if you know your intuition is guiding you to do something, I believe you have to start doing it, even without knowing all the answers. I will say that for me personally, I wanted to have all my ducks in a row before even starting this channel. I got all my ducks in a row before starting my blog. Initially, I thought that was going to be the thing, with the channel as an outlet for my nature passions. So the blog was carefully thought out and completely overplanned, and it is not going the way I planned it. It served a purpose for me to put my writings out there, but it doesn't look as if it's going to be the vehicle for my writings. I love to write, but people aren't reading blogs, so now I am bringing my writings to this channel. I only just started this channel, but I am seeing how it is morphing into something more, even though I don't completely know what I'm doing. If I had waited for this light bulb moment, I never would have arrived at the place I am now. I had to jump in and begin. I had to do to know. I had to do to grow. I had to adjust my plans, and if I had held with an ironclad fist to what my original plan was, or worse yet, never jumped in, I would still be spinning my wheels, frustrated with untapped potential. Life is a culmination of experiences, but the purpose for them has to slowly unfold before us. It's like building precept upon precept. You know how we reveal ourselves to people in layers? Well, that's how we go through life, one layer at a time, finding depth in the layers as we go. Someone once taught me this about my own thought process, that I find great depth in each layer of thought. So do you. So many topics in my head at all times, and I have the ability to find depth in each topic. So find depth in your current layer, your current situation, your current job, your current location. It's going to lead to another layer, and each one will allow you to dig deeper and deeper, like the cicada, moving past the grasses to be nourished by the larger roots. And these experiences must involve people. That waitressing job, I interacted with so many people from all walks of life. All that information filed away in the databank of my mind for future use. Teaching, thousands of students to interact with, organizational, creative, and performance skills, using my skills here on this channel to reach you. Community theater, working with a cast of all sorts of personalities, fighting stage fright to perform for thousands, trying on various personality types. Do you know how much information was crammed into my databanks because of all those experiences, and how valuable that information has been in my emergence? And don't think you can't be a success in what you're doing at this very moment, because you can. You can learn amazing skills and start being the best at applying those skills. Until later, when your intuition guides you to the right opportunity, the right fit. It's not wasted time. Trust me on that. I could be frustrated that I had to go through so many things to find the fit, and I was for a time, but not anymore. Not now, when I can finally see the big picture. Allow yourself the time to try on all these things, to wear them for a while. Seek to find the lessons and develop the skills in the midst of it. Think of yourself as being where you need to be for a reason, and then let your intuition help you to discover what you need to learn in it. It is why, my dear INFJ, when we finally show up to the party, we show up in a grand way. It's why we can develop our character, coming to understand who we are at alarmingly fast rates. Why we can dig into a topic and explode with it, learning everything possible in an amazingly short amount of time. When I started researching and learning things from my new business, all I heard and read was that it would take years before one would be able to acquire the knowledge necessary to make a great product. I laughed. No, it won't, I told myself. I am an INFJ, and I have emerged from the underground. Nothing is meaningless. The difficulty is finding the patience in the struggle. If you're still underground, you are having your own little party as you feed on the sap from the roots of the trees, filling up those data banks and nourishing yourself. Enjoy this party, because the day will soon come when you will enter into the light and emerge into your true self, the day you finally show up to the party. And when we get to the point of self-actualization, watch out, world. So back to where we started, the cicadas. One of the most important roles of a cicada is that they provide a link in the food chain between trees and creatures. Many creatures eat cicadas. They're a great treat for many animals. But here's the interesting difference between those annual and periodical cicadas. The emergence of the 17-year cicadas is a special feast. I had to laugh when I read some author describe it as 17 years of Christmas, Thanksgiving, and birthday parties all rolled up into one. So think of the circle of life. The tree, which hosts the cicada eggs and beginning stages, is being fed by the sun and soil nutrients. The cicadas live off the trees. Creatures eat the cicadas, and then other larger creatures, fox, bear, cats, wolves, fish, people, eat the creatures that ate the cicadas. Because of the incredible release of energy and food that comes from this unprecedented cicada emergence, other creatures experience an explosion in their population, which leads to a windfall for the larger creatures as well. Nothing like this happens at such magnitude in the annual emergence of cicadas, but it does with the 17-year cicadas. That's us. Because we live, humankind is better, but only if we patiently wait out the 17 cicada years in our growth and development. When we each emerge into our own little worlds, what happens? How can we change those worlds? And what benefits could society reap from us if we all emerged into our own little worlds all at the same time, bringing our talents, skills, gifts, and abilities to the table to work for a better future? Think about it.